The transmission is leaking a little bit, but I've actually traced it back, and it turns out it's not leaking from the bottom of it or anything, or the middle, or from the front or the back, whatever. It's actually right from the top of it where the shifter goes in. There's 4 bolts all the way around, and it's leaking from there. So I was gonna try to just sneak in there and see if I could do it without taking all this stuff off, but I'm pretty sure I have to move the whole console so I can get this boot off, and then I'll just tighten up and put everything back. And then I gotta fix the headlight on that side. Just the wiring fell off, it fell apart, so now the headlights go up and down, with the right one it's basically just got no power to it, so I'm gonna fix that. And then probably gonna do an oil change and tranny flush on the truck, and then probably some other things, as well as tires on the Pontiac. But this is what I'm doing right now. Gotta get this thing out. I actually thought that I was gonna have to pull up like this entire thing, but I guess I don't. The centerpiece just comes out after, I think it was like 2 bolts on the back. Yeah, I actually think it was only the 2. Was it even? Yeah, there's 2 on the back. And then it just pops out, so now I can reach the boot, so I'm just gonna move on from there. Okay, this thing is free now. I'm gonna have to just wiggle it out. I did have to move this. I didn't have to remove the entire thing, but I had to move it to get to all the bolts that go around this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pull this up, and I'll show you the 4 bolts under. Alright, there we are. Honestly, I can't tell. I thought it was leaking from like right under these ones, right, like under this whole platform right here, but I think it's actually kind of leaking out of this middle one, so I'm going to try to tighten these ones and those ones. Try to see if we can solve the problem. The two back bolts were like a little bit loose, so I tightened them, but everything else was still pretty tight, so I mean, I think some of it is just how I drive it. No matter which way I drive it, I think it's going to leak a little bit. That is like 2 years worth of leaking, so it's not really that much. So now I'm just buttoning everything back up, and then I got to tinker with the headlight. Alright, next thing checked off the list. Got this all hooked back up and wired up. The high beams, like I said a while back when I did the video on doing these, those are set up separately, but this is actually the factory low beam wires, but came unplugged because this stupid clip kind of doesn't fit them nicely, so now I can just do this and squish them together and cover them with some electrical tape. Got 2 more tires that I got for free just to throw in the back, because the ones on the car are getting pretty spanked. They're both different tread, but they're both the same size wheel, and I don't know, if it works, it works, but they won't be on for more than a week anyways. Alright, so yeah, these wheels do not fit on, so those tires will fit on the current wheels I have. So I'm going to take the tires off, put them on those wheels, then put them back on. Alright, so I got 1 tire over. I got the other one off basically, and all the air out of it. I was about to switch it over, so I'm like in the middle of switching these, but I just got the response back from a dude off Facebook Marketplace. And I'm not really sure I'm going to do this video. I don't know if I'm going to say, hey, look, I got another surprise vehicle. I think I'm going to do that. So you guys are just going to have to see it like when I get it. But we're about to take a 4-hour trip to go get this vehicle now, I guess. Add it to the collection. I think you guys will like it. I'll give you a hint. It's black like everything else. Alright, we got some GoPros. We got the scanner. Got the girlfriend. Got some cash. Gonna go buy another toy to add to the collection. Alright, Vermont. Here we come. Alright, we are now about an hour into the drive. We got like 2 hours and 50 minutes left to go. Kind of just coasting at 80. The closer we get though, the more excited I'm getting, because this was kind of like an impulse thing. Sort of impulse. Like I was going to have to buy something in the spring anyways that like actually would tow a trailer. So there's a hint. Because I guess technically I haven't really explained what it is. Don't tell them.
Ford Focus.
Yeah, it's a really tough Ford Focus with a tow hitch on the back. But, I kind of was already going to have to buy something in the spring, so this is kind of just like early. I'll just store it over the winter, but at least I have something ready to go in the spring. But it's still kind of like a quick thing. Like I just jumped on Facebook Marketplace today and I was like, oh, look at that. I was like, yeah, I got to message this guy. So kind of an impulse thing. I didn't really even know about the truck until this morning, and now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we're going to get it. But I'm getting more excited because I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. In fact, actually, this was my dream truck when I was like 14, so this will be cool. Alright, we're officially leaving Maine now, crossing the bridge to go into New Hampshire. Then we got to drive through New Hampshire some, and then we got to go all the way to Vermont. which I have not been to Vermont either at all or in a long time. I think at all though. I don't think I've ever been to Vermont. But yeah, here's the bridge. Crossing over, we're leaving Maine.
Bye, Maine.
Bye, Maine.
We'll be back.
Yep, see you later. With a new surprise vehicle. Right now we only got about 2 hours left of the trip, but the scenery's kind of changed a little bit. Gets a little prettier as you go, I guess. Have to do a quick bathroom stop, fill up, and get some snacks, but now we're about an hour and a half away. We have now entered Vermont, so we got about another hour drive until we're actually at this dude's place, but we are in Vermont now. It's going too, and then it just dies out. No, that's okay. Guys, so we're here. I took it for a test drive. It ran great, and then I shut it off to give the dude the money, and now it won't start.
It's a sign.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a sign. I mean, he's pretty nice about it. He's like, yeah, I'll get your money back if you want. And I mean, part of me is like, yeah, definitely. I don't feel like I should drive this thing 4 hours home if we can't even get it started. But at the same time, we also just drove 4 hours. So they're gonna try to put some new fuel in it, but it's a diesel, so like, diesel fuel doesn't really go bad like gas. So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, guys. But that's it. It's a single cab Duramax. All right, so I haven't really taken the camera out in a few hours because we are driving back. We are not in the truck though. I am in the girlfriend's car still, because there's kind of a mix-up with the truck. We got there, I test drove it, I checked it out. It was pretty clean for what it was. It was exactly what I thought I was going to look at. And it ran great, it drove great, it stopped great. There's a bunch of new parts on it, and I was all ready to go. So I came back from the test drive, I shut the truck off, gave the dude the money, did all the paperwork, tried to leave, and the truck wouldn't start. So we kind of, the kid told me that there's a little bit of a fuel leak right at the bottom somewhere on the back of the engine. It's like really small. He said it's only a few drops, but he said occasionally if you park like on a big hill, you have to go under and actually like press the pump on the top of the fuel filter when, like how you'd usually replace one, you have to prime it. He said sometimes you'll have to do that if you park on a hill, and I parked on a hill. And so we pushed it down the hill to try to get on a flat surface because it still wouldn't start. And then we just had no luck with it. We tried for like 25 minutes and the truck would not start. And he was like, all right, well, you know, I feel bad for making you drive all this way. So here's your money back, and then I'm just gonna try to fix it and see what the problem was. And it did have a little bit of a weird idle to it. And he told me what it was. He already had the sensor and everything. And I was like, well, do you think that just kind of crapped the bed and now it just won't idle at all? Because it would start to crank over and then it would die out again. And sure enough, an hour later of me driving back, he said that was what it was, and he's just gonna throw it in tomorrow and the truck will be great. But obviously it was like 4-hour drive one way, so tomorrow he is gonna meet us in the middle. So I'm gonna drive about an hour and 40 minutes, and he's gonna drive about an hour and 40 minutes or so, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours maybe. And we're just gonna meet in the middle, and then the truck will be ours. Just now, passing back over the bridge into Maine. It's a little after 9, so we're almost back. A little bit further. Almost. Oh, backside's always harder than the front. Alright, we got 2 new tires on the car now, so Pontiac's all set to go. Pretty much just waiting on the dude with the truck now. I've been talking with him on and off this whole morning. He's trying to replace the sensor in there. So we're just waiting on him pretty much, and once we get to go, we're gonna go get the truck. So this Duramax deal just got a little bit more interesting. I've been waiting all day for the dude. He was working on it, and he just straight up texted me. He's like, I can't get it. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to do it. You know, sorry about that. And then he lowered the price on the truck, and I was like, dude, he lowered it even more. I'm like, I'm just gonna drive back out there and I'm gonna fix it myself. Like, I know what it is. He's got the sensor there. He just can't get it out. And so we're driving all the way back to Vermont. I'm gonna put the sensor in. We're gonna go from there, just in case. We got some blankets, because we don't even know if I get there and I have to work on it for a few hours. I might be sleeping there. But that is what's going on now. So we're on the road again. The only real difference this time around is there's a lot more traffic because everyone's going back home after the weekend. We are about 20 minutes out. Turns out I don't have to replace the sensor. Like, he's been working on it all day, and he got the old one out, he got the new one in. Truck starts and runs great now. Like I said, 20 minutes away, but there's now a new problem. He texted me and he's like, yeah, it runs and drives great now. He's like, but for some reason the return line is dumping fuel everywhere. So now there's another problem. I'm not really that worried about the problems. It's just the fact that I have to get this vehicle 4 hours away. Like, I have to go 2 states away now with this vehicle, and I have to find a way to get it there, like, on its own feet, you know? So we're about 20 minutes away. The good news is this guy is just getting more and more pissed with this truck, so he just wants to sell it for cheaper and cheaper. So, like, every 10 minutes I drive, he's saying a lower price. So by the time we get there, dude, I mean, I don't really care how many problems it has. We're gonna be doing pretty good. All right, so we're in the truck, guys. I bought it because I can fix the leak and everything. It's not horrible. It's definitely a noticeable leak, but it's not like, you know, gallons a minute. It's like as if you left the faucet on a little bit, just enough, you know. So we're gonna fill it up and we're just gonna try to make it back. But I mean, it runs pretty good. It goes pretty good. So we're just gonna see if we can make the trip back with it. So as you can see, when we sit here, it does leak a pretty decent amount, but it's like a 3-inch piece of line, so I'll just get it back and fix it. Honestly, the only problem is that, like, it's leaking the fuel, and I'm not worried about that, but the other problem is that the fuel gauge doesn't work, so I'm just gonna, like, continuously stop and top it off, I guess, because I have no idea how much fuel is in the truck. I just put 40 bucks in and I already had half a tank, he said, because he just goes by the meter on here. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing that. So we filled up. I'm gonna just keep filling up as we go to make sure I don't run out of fuel, because I don't know how much it's leaking. But I mean, it goes pretty good, it feels pretty good. Honestly, it seems like a pretty healthy truck for what it is. And now we're just gonna see, we got like 3.5 hours left to go. We're just gonna get cruising, I guess, and just see how far we can get. I mean, I'll just drive it home. I don't know how tired the girlfriend's gonna get, though. I don't think she wants to drive the entire way because the sun's already going down, and she falls asleep at like 7 o'clock. So yeah, we might be pulling off somewhere and just sleeping for the night, and then in the morning driving the rest of the way. But we're getting as far as we can today. So far, so good. All right, guys, so it's a little worse when I've been driving because it adds up, but there's a puddle. There's definitely a puddle. Not liking it. It's all right. So I just filled it back up, topped it off. It wasn't full of fuel in the first place. I put like 40 bucks in, and that was it. And I just drove on it, so I just put like 26 bucks back in, and now it's full. So, I mean, so far still runs great, goes great, but it's definitely leaking a substantial amount. The leak hasn't gotten any better or any worse. Like, the way that the leak is, the line that it's on is a pretty solid line, so it's just a crack in the corner of it. It's not like growing, but it's definitely still showing it. All right, ready? All right, guys, so the house is right up there on the left. So we officially made the 4-hour trip. It's pretty dark out right now, nor do I really want to be doing much because I'm pretty tired. So I think I'm gonna head in the house when I get back, and then tomorrow morning I'll come back out and I'll actually show you guys the truck. All right, guys, there it is. So the paint is not really existent. It's kind of, I think it's like a rhino line or something. Tailgate's got a pretty big dent in it. The bumper's pretty clean. There's like no rust on the truck at all. Wheels and tires are kind of ugly. I'm gonna probably put some new ones on there. It's got some stickers on it that I gotta clean up. Inside the doors isn't painted, so I'll at least paint that black to match. Overall though, it's really pretty decent truck. So, I mean, yeah, we're just gonna clean it up and fix it up and go from there. But before I start working on it today, I gotta go clean the girlfriend's car, because Greta's car, driving 4 hours behind me with the fuel leak, is literally drenched in fuel. Not sure how well you guys can see it on the camera, but yeah, you can see it pretty easily. That's all diesel fuel. All the way down the front, all the way down the side, all the way over the windows. So I'm gonna give that a wash first, and then I'm gonna start working on the truck. All right, so I cleaned the rear window all off of the stickers. I also took a razor to it because there was a lot of like overspray and junk, so it's still a little wet over there, it's drying, but window looks pretty good, so I'm gonna slap a Rifle Racing sticker right there. Do the same with the other windows and put a Rifle Racing sticker on the side of the windshield up there. Got the whole murdered out squad here. Off Rifle Racing sticker. Same thing with the windshield, all nice and cleaned up. Rifle Racing sticker. Just took the grill off because it's kind of getting choppy and stuff, so we're gonna redo that all black. Then we're gonna do the front bumper, the rear bumper, and then, I mean, I still have to fix the fuel line, so that's kind of one of the big things I'm getting ready to do. But so far, that's what we've done. Oh yeah, and also the inner piece. I mean, some people have their own taste. I've done it before too, but this inner like gauge cluster thing was like I don't know what you call it. It was like splatter paint, firework looking. So I just took that black again. And then also, for the time being, we're probably just gonna do the inside of the doors black too, just so every time we open it, it doesn't frighten me. And also the inside of the hood. But we're gonna start working on that fuel line and paint this. Alright, front end looks pretty good now, all blacked out. We're gonna just throw some paint on the wheels, and then I think I'm just gonna start doing 5% tint all the way around except the windshield. And that'll really tie it together. Alright, so we got it out. This is the part that was leaking. It was just attached, but it was like split in half like that. So that's where all the fluid was leaking from. It sits right on there like this though, and that was way down in there under all this. So I was just gonna see if there's a way to fix this, but it looks like this entire thing is one piece. So, but that's the problem. So now we're just gonna go get a new one of these and throw it back in. We should be all good. But yeah, this is one entire piece. Let's go. All right, so this is the whole thing that was leaking as I showed you. It is just a return line, so there's not really that much pressure in it. So that's the only reason I'm doing this, but I set it back up exactly all lined up how it goes. I put some JB weld on it. I'm gonna let that, you know, sit for a little bit so it hardens up, and then I'm just gonna keep coating it over and over again because none of the auto parts stores have it, and if I was to order it, it's like 2 weeks to a month out, and I don't really want to wait that long for a simple return line. So just gonna do a JB weld job here and then put it back in. I repeatedly kept breaking it. Every time the JB weld would dry, I would try to put it back in and it would break. So I just set it down there exactly how it needs to sit, and now I'm coating it in JB weld, so I don't really have to move it that much, so I can't break it again. Yeah. So while that's drying, I guess I'm just gonna start tinting the windows. All right, truck's all tinted up, 5% on both the sides and the back. Came out pretty good. I only messed up on one little spot, and it's just this little corner right here, but whatever. Overall, came out pretty decent. I like it. Now the whole truck looks dark.